At our wedding rehearsal dinner, I found my fiancée making out with her ex in the parking lot. When I cried and asked why, she smirked and said, "You're safe. He's passion." I didn't argue. I walked into the dinner, took the mic, and announced that the wedding was off, then played the security footage for all 200 guests. I'm 34. My name's Mark. This happened last spring in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I was engaged to a woman named Renee, 32. We had been together for nearly 4 years when it all fell apart. I didn't see it coming. At least not until the night before our wedding. I met Renee at a local food truck night downtown. I remember it clear. She was standing in line at a taco stand arguing with her sister over whether to get shrimp or beef. I cracked a joke. She laughed. We ended up sitting together and talking for 2 hours. That was it. After that night, I was all in. Renee was magnetic. Everyone liked her. She could talk to anybody. She made people feel like they mattered. That's what I fell for. Or thought I did. Maybe I just fell for the version she wanted me to see. She told me early on that she had been engaged before. She said it ended bad, that he had hurt her, and she never wanted to talk about him again. I respected that. I never asked for his name. I never looked him up. I just trusted her. That was my mistake. Our relationship moved fast. Within a year, we moved in together. She had this little place just off 81st Street, not far from the Riverwalk. I left my apartment and moved in with her. It felt right. She cooked. I handled bills. We traveled a little. Life seemed good. So I proposed. She cried when I asked. Said yes before I even finished the sentence. Her family was excited. Mine was, too. I felt proud. Like I had found my person. We spent the next 6 months planning the wedding. We decided on a venue on the river. Expensive place, but beautiful. Big windows, high ceilings, looked out over the water. We had a guest list of over 200 people. Out-of-town family, old friends, co-workers. It was going to be a big deal. The night before the wedding, we had the rehearsal and then the dinner. It was all happening at the venue. We reserved 2 separate rooms, one for the practice, one for the meal. Everything was set. I got there a little early to go over final details with the event manager, Greg. Renee had texted me that she was finishing her makeup and would be there soon. So I started walking through the kitchen area to check the menu setup. That's when I overheard one of the waitstaff talking to another guy in the hallway. He said something like, "There's a couple out in the parking lot going at it. Pretty heavy." The other guy just laughed it off. I don't know why, but something about the way he said it made my chest tighten. I don't even know what I thought I'd find. I just walked to the back door, pushed it open, and stepped outside. There's a spot behind the venue where staff and guests park. It's usually quiet. I turned the corner and froze. There she was. Renee. My fiancée. Dressed in that red rehearsal dinner dress I helped her pick out. Locked in a deep, hungry kiss with a man I had never seen before. Tall, scruffy beard, black leather jacket. Her arms around his neck. His hands on her hips. Like they were alone in the world. I didn't move. I didn't say anything. Just stood there. She pulled back first. Saw me. And she didn't even flinch. She just gave this slight shrug and stepped away from him. I finally managed to whisper, "Why?" She looked me right in the face. No tears. No apology. Just this slight, smug smirk. And then she said it. "You're safe. He's passion." I swear, the air left my body. That line hit me harder than anything ever has. The guy didn't even seem nervous. He just looked me over and said, "Guess we should go." Like this was nothing. I didn't argue. Didn't cry. I just turned and walked back inside. My heart was pounding. My hands were numb. But my brain? Sharp. I remembered that the venue had cameras. I'd seen one mounted on the back wall during our walkthrough. I went straight to Greg, asked him if the exterior cameras were working. He said yes. I told him I needed to see the last 30 minutes of footage from the rear lot. He was confused, asked why. I said there might have been a trespasser or vandalism. He agreed and pulled it up on his laptop. There it was. Clear as day. Renee. The man. Full makeout session. Her arms pulling him close. Their mouths pressed like teenagers sneaking around. I didn't even blink. I asked if we could project it. He said yes. I told him I needed the mic before dinner started. By now, guests were arriving. My parents, her parents, cousins, old college buddies. Renee had come back inside, acting like nothing had happened. She was laughing with her bridesmaids. Toasting with her mom. Not a care in the world. I stood off to the side, watching her. My stomach turned, but I held it in. I waited until most people were seated, and then I stepped up to the DJ booth. I took the mic and waited. The room went quiet. I want to thank you all for coming tonight. I know many of you flew or drove hours to be here. I appreciate it. But I'm not going to keep you long. People smiled, waiting for a toast. There won't be a wedding tomorrow. Silence. Gasps. Murmurs. People turning to each other. I went on. I found out something tonight. And I think everyone deserves to know the truth. So we're going to watch a short video first. Greg hit play. The lights dimmed. The screen came on. There it was. Renee. The man. Her ex, as I would find out later. Kissing in the parking lot less than an hour ago. Nobody said a word. You could have heard a pin drop. Her father's mouth fell open. Her mother covered her face. Her bridesmaids stared in shock. I didn't look at her. I didn't need to. She screamed something behind me, something like, "This is a violation." I turned to face the crowd. She told me I'm safe. He's passion. So she picked him. And now you all know. Then I dropped the mic, literally, and walked out the front door. I didn't stop until I reached my truck. And that's where I'll pause this for now. I sat in my truck in the parking lot for maybe an hour. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just sat there, hands on the wheel, staring at nothing. My phone blew up, calls from my mom, texts from friends, even Renee's bridesmaids. I didn't answer anyone. Finally, my brother Kyle came out and got into the passenger seat. He looked at me, didn't say a word for a long time. Then he said, "You did the right thing." I nodded. I didn't feel like it yet. Kyle told me people were in shock inside. Some guests had left. Others were hovering around her family, asking what was going on. Renee had locked herself in the bridal prep room and was refusing to come out. Her mom was crying, her dad was yelling at Greg for letting the footage play. But the part that hit hardest? The guy in the video, her passion, his name was Troy. He wasn't a stranger. He was her ex-fiancé. The same one she said she never wanted to talk about again. She had brought him to the rehearsal dinner as a fake cousin, just to get him in without questions. And worse, some of her bridesmaids knew. They didn't know about the kiss, but they knew she'd been seeing him behind my back for months. They thought it had ended. She promised them it was just emotional, that she needed closure. But apparently, she had been meeting up with him during lunch breaks, at hotels in Owasso, even at her sister's house. That broke me. It wasn't just her. It was people I trusted. People who let me stand there planning a future with someone who was living two lives. The next morning, I packed all my stuff and left the house we shared. She texted over and over, begging me to talk. Said I humiliated her. Said she made a mistake. She wanted to explain. I ignored every message. By Sunday, she posted a long status on Facebook. One of those vague, "nobody's perfect. Some people are just cruel" posts. Comments started rolling in. Some supporting her, others confused, asking what happened. Her aunt even DM'd me saying, "Whatever happened between you two, you didn't need to humiliate her like that." But what really set things off? The video leaked. One of the guests, probably someone from my cousin's group, recorded the footage off the projector with their phone. They uploaded it to Reddit and tagged it under a wedding drama thread. Within a day, it had over 20,000 upvotes. Suddenly strangers were messaging me. Some calling me a hero. Others calling me petty. Some saying I dodged a bullet. Others saying I should have just called it off quietly. I didn't care. I wasn't looking for attention. I just wanted to be left alone. But Renee? She cared. She called me sobbing, saying she lost her job at the dental office because of the video. Said patients started canceling appointments. Her boss didn't want the drama. Troy, her passion, ghosted her right after the video went viral. Gone. No calls, no texts. Just disappeared. She was left with nothing. And that's when she got desperate. She started showing up at places I went, my gym, my favorite diner. She begged. Said she never meant to hurt me. Claimed it was a moment of weakness. Tried to say I pushed her away with my boring routine. I told her to leave me alone. One night, she showed up at my parents' house during dinner. My mom answered the door. Renee was crying, wearing one of my old hoodies like it would change anything. My mom didn't even let her in. She slammed the door in her face. But the worst part? That wasn't the end. 3 weeks later, I got a call from a lawyer. Renee was suing me for emotional distress. She claimed the video I played ruined her reputation and caused her undue psychological harm. Said I violated her privacy. Her lawyer tried to push a settlement, $50,000. That's when I lost it. She cheated. Lied. Brought her ex to our rehearsal dinner. And now she wanted money? I hired a lawyer. I showed him the footage, the texts, the guest list with Troy listed as a family guest, the messages from her own friends admitting they knew. We countered. Not only did we refuse to pay, my lawyer filed a defamation claim for the lies she started spreading online. It got ugly. Fast. People chose sides. Some mutual friends blocked both of us. Her sister, who once called me the best thing that ever happened to Renee, told me I had destroyed her chance at happiness. But I stayed quiet. I let the truth speak for itself. And the truth wasn't done yet. Because during the legal process, my lawyer subpoenaed her phone records. What he found wasn't just infidelity. It was something worse. And I'll get to that next. When my lawyer got the subpoenaed phone records, I expected more texts with Troy. Maybe a few calls that lined up with when she told me she was working late. I thought it would just confirm what I already knew. But it went deeper than that. He called me into his office and said, "You're going to want to sit down." Over the last year of our engagement, Renee hadn't just been talking to Troy. There were 3 other men listed in her messages, all saved under fake names, one of them listed as Amber, Hair Girl, another as Tuber Tulsa. One of them? A guy named Darius. Married. Lives in Bixby. The messages were graphic. Full-on sexts, photos, plans to meet at hotels. And timestamps that matched days she told me she was going to yoga or brunch with Nicole. It wasn't just cheating. It was a pattern. Serial. Planned. Covered up. But the worst part? There were mentions of money. Small amounts. Like $100 here, $200 there. Her messages read like negotiations. If you're gonna flake again, I still expect something for the time. Or, you said you'd help with my car payment if I came by. She wasn't just cheating, she was trading. I sat there, numb. My lawyer just shook his head. This lawsuit she filed, he said. It's garbage. If this leaks, she's finished. I didn't know what to do with the information. I hadn't told my parents the full story yet. They thought she had just kissed her ex. They didn't know she'd turned our engagement into some sort of hidden arrangement with other men. I drove straight to my brother's house. Sat on his porch. Showed him the screenshots. He lost it. He wanted to post them online right then and there. I stopped him. Not yet, I said. We needed to do this right. I printed everything. Every message. Every name. Every payment record. My lawyer started building a case to not only shut her lawsuit down but expose her publicly if she pushed further. But here's where it twisted again. Her lawsuit? Dropped. Her lawyer suddenly pulled out, citing client dishonesty. I got the call a few days later. But Renee wasn't done. No. She started a new campaign, on social media. Claimed I had fabricated messages. That I was emotionally abusive. That I isolated her and she acted out under pressure. She painted herself as some kind of victim of a controlling fiancé who micromanaged her life. A few mutual friends started reposting her stories. Saying things like, "We don't know both sides." So I showed them. I uploaded one image. Just one. A message between her and Troy, a few days before the rehearsal dinner. I wish I could just cancel the wedding. But he's stable, and I need that right now. You're chaos. I crave chaos. Just hold me one more time. After this weekend I'll figure things out. It spread fast. My inbox flooded. People who doubted me started apologizing. Her defense crumbled. Fast. But then, another twist. A guy named Adam messaged me. Said he saw the post and recognized Renee. Said he dated her for a few months 2 years ago, while we were already engaged. He said she told him she was in a toxic relationship with someone who was financially controlling, and she was trying to escape. He sent screenshots. It matched the same pattern. Promises. Money talk. Disappearing. Ghosting. I had been living with a stranger. All those weekends she went to visit her cousin in OKC. She was never there. Adam said she stayed at his place. That's when I made the call. I hired a private investigator. I wanted everything. Her real background. What else she had hidden. What he found would be the final match that burned her entire fake world to the ground. And that's what I'll tell you next. The private investigator's name was Ron. He was ex-military, no nonsense, mid-50s, and knew Tulsa like the back of his hand. I gave him everything, names, timelines, messages, the wedding venue, even a photo of Renee and Troy together. It took him 6 days to come back with a full report. And what he found? Renee's entire life was built on lies. First, her ex, Troy, wasn't just her old flame. They were never officially broken up. While she was living with me, she still listed herself as single on rental forms. She rented a storage unit under her maiden name where she kept photos, clothes, gifts, all things from Troy and others. Including a box full of envelopes. Cash. Thousands. Ron traced them to 3 men in the Tulsa area. 2 were married. 1 was her old college professor. That wasn't all. Her last job before the dental office? She was let go for inappropriate contact with a client. Her resume was padded, she lied about degrees, about certifications. Her entire application was smoke and mirrors. When the wedding video leaked, it wasn't the first time her name had come up in gossip forums. One Reddit user recognized her from an old post in a cheating thread, different city, same pattern. Ron gave me names. Numbers. Proof. Photos. And one more thing. Renee had taken out a secret personal loan for over $12,000 6 months before our wedding. The payment had been past due for 2 months. I was listed as her emergency contact. I had no idea. She planned to use part of my wedding gift money to pay it off. That was it. I was done being quiet. I compiled a file. A full PDF, clean layout, all facts, nothing dramatic, just screenshots, dates, financial proof, background report. I uploaded it to a private folder and sent a link to every person who had been at the rehearsal dinner. Family, friends, her co-workers. I sent a short message, "This is the truth about Renee." I stayed silent long enough. No opinions. Just facts. Do with it what you will. It spread like wildfire. Within a week, Renee's mother kicked her out. Yes, kicked her out of the house she ran to after the fallout. Her mom emailed me to apologize. The dental office didn't just let her go quietly. They filed a formal complaint after learning about her loan scam. One of the married men in her messages. His wife found out. Filed for divorce. Took the house. Renee's name came up in the court docs. Another one? His employer found out and launched an internal ethics review. But the biggest piece of karma? The Facebook group. One of Renee's bridesmaids, Lauren, who had known about Troy and said nothing, started a GoFundMe for Renee. Claimed she was devastated, jobless, and homeless due to online bullying. They raised $600. Then someone sent them the PDF. The page was taken down within hours. Lauren deleted all her social media. Renee's social accounts went dark. Her phone number changed. She disappeared. Months passed. I rebuilt slowly. Got a new apartment. Got a promotion at work. Started therapy. I had a lot to unpack, trust issues, shame, embarrassment. But the truth saved me. The one thing I regret? I didn't see it sooner. But I also know I would have married her if I had missed that moment in the parking lot. That one moment saved me. And Renee? Last I heard, from a mutual acquaintance, she moved to Texas. San Antonio. Got a job at a small spa using a different last name. She's trying to start over, I guess. But people don't change without consequences. And she got hers. Troy never took her back. The men she used turned their backs. Her friends walked away. And all that charm she used like a mask. It doesn't work when everyone already knows what's behind it. As for me, I'm at peace now. No more games. No more lies. Just truth. And a story I'll never forget.